watched two movies again today, but I'm going to do them as separate reviews because one was in a theater and one was not. So the first one was today's Noir Alley film, Scandal Sheet. Somehow I'd never seen this film, but I had wanted to for a while, so it was very exciting to finally see it. It's directed by Phil Karlson and was actually from a story written by Samuel Fuller. Yes, that Samuel Fuller. And it stars some of old Hollywood's greatest actors, Broderick, Crawford, John Derek, and Donna Reed. Although John Derek is not in his most beefcakey here, and his character is kind of a bit of an idiot. Donna Reed rules in this movie, as does who was it? Rosemary DeCamp. She's probably the MVP of the show, actually. And then you have a little bit of Harry Morgan popping in and out, and he's like that seasoning that makes everything good because he's Harry Morgan. So in this story, Broderick Crawford has come on to the as the main editor for the New York Express. He's turned it from a place with hard-hitting journalism to basically a scandal sheet. And his star reporter is played by John Derek. And one of the last remaining feature writers from when it was still sort of this classy place is Donna Reed. They are covering. John Derek will do things. His character will do things like get a victim's sister to think he's a police and give him a full statement, and then run off and write a report or write an article with this firsthand report. He's this terrible person, and Donna Reed is like, I'm going to take my writing skills elsewhere pretty soon. Broderick Crawford, as it turns out, has a past. He abandoned his wife 20 years earlier, and she shows up and is going to rake him through the coals and ruin his life. So he accidentally kills her in a rage, as you do, right? And then tries to cover it up, but he runs a scandal sheet, and this is a huge event. It's the Lonely Hearts murder, and so now he's trying to be one step ahead of his own reporter, who is trying to uncover who the murderer is, but obviously every time he uncovers something, he tells his boss, and then his boss has to go murder more people and get more and more things hidden so that he can get away with it. The one way I'm going to spoil. The one way in which I almost think it's not quite noir is that he kind of gets caught. I mean, and then this goes with there's several of the Bogart detective ones where the bad guy gets it in the end. And those are the ones that I'm always slightly on the fence because it's dark and it's seedy, and the murder in particular is beautifully shot. But the bad guy gets caught in the end, and it's is the world really that terrible of a place if order gets restored at the end of the film? I'm not sure. And this was one where order gets restored very clearly at the end of the film, but it's still, in the end of the day, a scandal rag. And the John Derek character is probably still going to go and continue writing these horrible essays for people. So this was quasi-based on Samuel Fuller's actual time working on similar newspapers, and that's sort of why he is such a fascinating person. Is he wrote for scandal sheets, he went to war and was a war reporter, he was a director, he did so many different things he brought all of that experience into his art, and so his films are just so fascinating to watch. And some of them are noir, and some of them are horror, and some of them are war films, but every single one of his films feel very him. And I think this one is sort of like a proto Sam Fuller film in that Phil Karlson directed it, but the core of the story comes from Fuller, and I think if Fuller had directed it, it probably would have been even more fucked up. So, it's a nice prelude into what you'll get with the rest of Fuller's filmography. This was on Noir Alley today, so you can stream it on Watch TCM, and I think it's available on DVD if you don't have that. It's from 1952. This is Scandal Sheet.